The number of local COVID-19 cases is on the rise. 9 new cases confirmed overnight, although thankfully, according to the government, all 22 active cases are doing fine. However, the Deputy Chief Minister, Joseph Garcia, said that more and more will fall to the virus, which everyone should now realise is a threat to human life. The Minister for Civil Contingencies, Samantha Sacramento, said that her latest briefing from the RGP is not encouraging, as many people are still out and about.
Our frail elderly, as you know, are the most at risk. So the best thing that we can do for them is to stay indoors and also ensure that they stay indoors. Because there are some people who have just not yet appreciated how contagious this virus is and how serious the situation can get if we do not follow the guidance. If people do not follow our advice and the measures that are put in place, then the positive cases that we have will just shoot up. Because of Gibraltar's density, we are seeing a curve when we look at other countries. Because of our density, our curve will look more like a spike.
The Civil Contingencies Office is pressing ahead with the measures required to cope with the virus crisis. Given that the most vulnerable members of the community are in care homes, the clinical input at Mount Alvernia has been increased, allowing patients to be treated there without having to leave the relative safety of the home. 1,500 over 70s have received personal phone calls so far by social services and volunteers who are auditing their personal needs in order to introduce any requirements. What has been described as a robust mental health support plan has been drawn up, which will be targeted principally at frontline workers who will be offered support and counselling as the strain takes its toll. It will also be available for the wider community. On aviation, and due to a lack of demand, 22 of the 28 flights scheduled for this week have been cancelled. EasyJet will operate a rescue flight on Sunday, and British Airways has indicated it will provide a flight every day except Wednesdays during April. Dr. Garcia said efforts were underway to bring home Gibraltarians stranded across the world, suggesting as well that they contact the UK embassies for help wherever they are. The Deputy Chief Minister confirmed the assistance being provided by the British government.
Indeed, the Minister for the Overseas Territories, Baroness Sugg, underlined the commitment from the UK further in a question in the House of Lords. She confirmed that the UK and Gibraltar are working closely to ensure that we receive the help that is necessary. And she added that this includes procuring medical equipment, support for Gibraltar immediately through military aid to the civil authority, MACA, and standing by Gibraltar in the long run as we deal with the impact of the pandemic.
In Gibraltar, where several construction sites remain active despite the lockdown, it was stated that permits were only given subject to conditions being met.
There are some sites where I understand from the technical people that special arrangements or conditions have been made for the workers that are operating on those sites. And there are some, for example, where they're not allowed to roam around Gibraltar, where they leave from the site to the border and the border to the site. And that is being controlled by the developers or by the construction companies as necessary.
Permits have been granted in very exceptional circumstances.
The public health advice was repeatedly emphasised, with the ministers reiterating that they did not mean to scare people unnecessarily, but that the message of the seriousness of the situation required clear communication.
In terms of the forthright way in which the advice is being put across, I think if you look at what is happening on our television screens in other countries, you will understand why it is that we want to protect our elderly and why we want to protect our most vulnerable. So really, although it may sound alarming, and we certainly don't want to alarm anyone, we do want to drive home the fact that this is a dangerous virus which is killing people. And that particular category, although anybody can catch the virus, that particular category has been determined to be the most at risk by medical science based on what has happened in other countries.
The press conference's main theme was clear. The government is in overdrive to put measures in place aimed at reducing the risk of infection and flattening the curve. And that the message remains, stay home, stay alive.